Hey guys, another short quick guide hopefully, and we're now talking about mercenaries today, about how to do them effectively, just about capturing them, not about like how to use them. I've talked about that in a couple of other videos, but this is more specifically about how to capture them. Bakery did also a good video on this, but I want to go into a little bit more detail on a couple of them. We're on Curse Hollow and we're on Phoenix, and you can see we're level 1, and I want to show you something that doesn't affect many heroes, but affects Phoenix, and it's generally a good idea for mercenaries, no matter which hero you're playing. So if you attack these guys here, as you can see, I only hit one of them, which makes this camp a little slower. But what I can do, and you saw it a little bit already, I can pull them a little bit. There you go. So now they're pulled together, and as you can see, now I'm hitting both of them, which means it makes it easier for me to kill them. I can also pull them a little bit to the left. The only thing that you have to be careful with about pulling them is if you pull them in a direction where there's a bush and you walk into that, they might reset. So then you can't, pull them together anymore because they reset and then they just go back to their own position. But as you can see here, pulling them together is really powerful because I do damage to both of them at the same time with my face bomb. So this makes it easier and quicker to take them. So again, we're going to just take this and then respawn it, and I showed you again exactly how this works. If I hit them as they were, like this, I only hit one of them. So now I just walk a little bit over, not too far away out of their range so that one can attack me still. And there you go, they're stacked, and I can attack both of them at the same time. You can do this with all camps. With these it's very good, again, on Phoenix, but normally you have AoE attacks on all of the heroes, so if you, for example, play Greyman, it's also very useful to pull them together so your Razor Swipe hits them for sure and you don't miss one of the attacks on accident. So on Dragonshire, it's actually not necessary to do the pulling trick. As you can see, if I attack them, they're standing there, they're already stacked. So they're closer together, which means on some maps you don't have to do the pulling trick. What you still can do is pull them a little bit. If I don't fuck up, there you go. As you can see, as soon as they lose vision, they're leashed. So it's a little bit more difficult to do this here. But you can pull them a little bit like this, or not. There you go. Now the right one is a little bit pulled. That means I'm a little safer and can attack from here, which gives me a more safe way to do this. With Phoenix, it obviously doesn't help with all of the range assassins because some of them have to go closer to them to attack. To use their spells. But again, not every map has the golems like this or the siege camp like this, where you can hit both of them at the same time. Then you should pull them together so you do automatic damage to both of them. But on Dragonshire, I think on Sky Temple as well, they're close enough together that you can just attack them. You don't need to pull them right away. So another one that I wanted to mention is the Night Camp. The Night Camp can be taken in different ways. Some are more efficient and some will make you take more damage to your hero. So we're just gonna go do it like most people do it, or at least how I see most people doing it. Greyman level 10 or level 11 now. This is how most people do this. They're just gonna attack and then use their spells whenever they're ready. Normally you should also take out the mage minion first. So you do this after you realize that you didn't do it, and you can see I take a lot of damage in the process of taking this camp. I might even be dying if I don't use my spells correctly, or if I, for example, have auto mana, or I started without 100% of health. So I'm at 300 and we're nearly 400 HP now. So we're going to reset this now, reset HP, and respawn the camp. So what I like to do with these camps, and again, this is, I don't think, super necessary all the time. I also want to respawn the structures, so my camps that I've pushed already aren't finishing the game. So this is how I do the night camp. First of all, you obviously should jump on the minion wizard to kill it first. But as you can see here, the third knight can't actually attack me. So I'm always trying to dodge him by walking around the other two minions. This allows me to take less damage because they're not attacking me all the time. As you can see, if you move around a little bit, it actually can even lead to both of the minions not attacking me. So the kiting around a little bit is really powerful. As you can see, I have more like 300 more HP than I had before. So kiting them around can be really powerful, especially if you're not full health. This can be very good for you. We're going to do it one more time just to show you how it works. So again, always attack the mage minion first. and then just move into a corner like this, and you can see the other minions have to move around to try to attack you. So this way you can avoid being attacked by 3 of them. You can also cut them around like this. You can see like I attack and I only get hit by 1 of the minions. It's not super necessary to do it all the time, especially if you're like with 2 or 3 heroes at the same time at this camp. But you can see that if you do it, you can take less damage. I didn't do it perfectly in this round, which is why I took a lot of damage. I'm going to do it one more time to show you that it is really, really powerful to do. And then we're going to go over to the zappers that we also have in our guide, spawn camps. So again, you just want to go attack the minion and then move here so that the other minion here on the outside has to move around. Always try to have one of them move a little bit. So this way he can't attack you and you should lose less health. Obviously, you need to be able to status step here pretty actively and pretty well. So you need to know how it works and how to do it, because otherwise you're just gonna lose a lot of DPS and therefore a lot of HP. But that's it. You just kite one of them around and you lose less HP than you would if you just mindlessly attack them. So now we're on House of Doom and we talk about the little zappers here. You can see I'm level 1 because there's no sandbox mode and I can't really level up my hero, but I can show you how to do them effectively even at level 1. So these can also be pulled together, and it's actually very powerful to pull them together. First of all, you can pull them to the left here, and you can also obviously pull them to the right here, which makes it a little safer to do this, because if you do them here, you don't have vision of this bush, so people can go invade here and see if you're dropping or if you're close to clearing this camp. So what you should be doing, in my opinion, is you want to pull them together. So you attack them here, and then as you can see, they pull together like this, and then you can very easily dodge their attacks while stutter stepping, and you still do damage to them with your AoE abilities like this, if you don't miss them like me. But as you can see, I don't lose a lot of health, even I'm level 1, and I don't do that much damage to them. But it's very easy for me to do this. Pulling them together is really, really powerful as well, because you do the AoE damage guaranteed to all of them. With multi-shot you have a very wide angle, so you should hit them, all of them already. But if you pull them together, every other ability that you can choose that has AoE will make it a lot easier to be hit on all of them. This is something that you should definitely do with most of the camps here on Towers of Doom, if not all of the camps. Pulling them together, again, if you kite them like this to the outside of your base, it's much safer to do, because you can't be invaded as easily, and you don't give vision to the enemy as easily. They don't know exactly where you're here. They have a little bit of vision around this area, but they don't necessarily see how much health you have and what's going on with you. So pulling them together, it's really, really powerful for defensive reasons, and then obviously also just because it makes it easier to take them. The pumpkins are very, very useful, and they need to be taken as often as you can on Towers of Doom. These are probably game-winning mercenaries more than on any other map. If you can take them as soon as they spawn, perfect. We're going to move over to Braxis and Warrior Junction. We're going to only look at Braxis, but I have to say that for these mercenaries there's not as many tips, so if you just wanted to have good tips for the mercenaries that we've shown so far, that's pretty much what you can take out of this video. We're going to just only talk about the Braxis ones for a very short amount of time. So for Braxis, it's very difficult to actually take these minions early on. These do melee attacks, so as you can see they reduce my armor. You can pull them together and do damage to them, but early game you should definitely have somebody else with you, because you can see how much HP they have and how much damage they do already to me. My shield is already depleted, and now they're attacking me directly, so I'm losing my health. So I can even do these with Phoenix very easily. So for them, definitely in the early game, take 2 heroes. They don't do that much damage during the mid game, so you can probably take them alone. But they're very powerful because of the armor debuff, so be careful about them. And if you have taken them, make sure that you push with them, or at least make sure that they can push alone so that nobody's contesting them. That's really, really strong with them. If they don't get contested, they can take walls and forts very, very quickly. For this camp, the Raven and the Goliath, there's not much that you can do. They have range attacks and they do a lot of damage as well. You can't really pull them together that much. As you can see, even if you do this, it only increases a little bit. You can do it, but as you can see, they do a lot of damage early game, so I can't really take them alone until I level up. You should normally take the Raven first. He does the most damage, and the little grenade is really annoying because it can follow you everywhere. But this is also a camp that you should normally do at least with 2 people, if not even more, to take it out. Effectively, you can pull them together, as I said, like it doesn't hit everybody here now. So if you pull them together like this, you can hit everybody, or nearly everybody, much more easily. But the camps here on Braxis as well as on Warhead, they're not easy to take, and they don't have as much value most of the time as on other maps, except the fire bats here, or whatever they're called. Hellbats, there you go, that's the name. These can be powerful if you push with them. This camp is more like annoying more than really do a lot of pushes, unless it's really like left alone for ages. But yeah, like on these maps, you don't have, or I don't have many tips for you, because you don't really can take these camps very easily on your own. So that's difficult. And then obviously here on Braxis, the beacons are spawning as the camps are spawning, so therefore you normally always fight around these guys, which makes it difficult to sneak in a camp on your own. That's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the tips on the mercenaries. If you have any tips to take mercenaries more safely or quicker, then put it in the comments. And as always, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.